Pre-recording Tim here, just letting you know that this episode was recorded before the previous two episodes. I just wanted to do something a little bit more lighthearted because I just have a whole bunch of super serious ones, and I felt like we needed a couple of lighthearted ones before we went back into some of the more intense philosophical ones. That being said, let's get on with the main video. Hello, and welcome to This Versus That, your number one source of amusing and intense would you rather situations. I am your host, Tim. Now it's time to choose this or that. Would you rather forget who you are or forget who everyone else is? So, we have another serious one here. And I could definitely see the pros and cons to each. And it is going to be a tough one to decide at the end of the day. The pros and cons. Let's look into the first one. Forget who we are. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be that that deep philosophical, you're standing on top of a mountain overlooking this huge valley, trying to figure out who you are, your place in the universe. No, I'm talking full on, you don't know your name, you don't know your birth date, you don't know your address, you know nothing about you. Complete amnesia. I've never had amnesia. I don't think I know anyone who's had amnesia, but from what I have seen in shows and in movies, that sounds like it would be absolutely awful. I watch these people on the screen and I just picture in my head just how frustrating it must be, and not even know why you're frustrated or scared. You're feeling these feelings and you don't know why you're feeling these things. You're feeling I guess the best way I can think of it is I'm frustrated because I know I'm somebody, but I don't know who I am, and I hate that because I have this whole life and I know nothing about it. And then there's this, at the same time, there's a sense of fear that I would have where it's just how did I get to this? How did this happen? Am I going to find out who I am? Am I going to be able to go back to that life? What was my life? Do I have to start everything new? That would just be really, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that would just be absolutely miserable. And not just for you or for myself, but for everyone in our lives, because they know who we are, and just how if you have good people in your life, they would be concerned and they would be sad and worried with you and would do everything in their power to help you. At least I hope we have those people in our lives. I hope you have those kind of people in your life. I would like to believe that I have people in my life where if I forgot who I was, they probably call in to work and be hey, I can't work today, there's been an emergency. And it would be kind of interesting to be making that phone call, I can't work today, my friend or my spouse, they lost their memory. I gotta go help them reclaim their identity. And that would be an interesting situation. But I mean, interesting, but again, really frustrating, really terrifying, because you're feeling these emotions and you don't know why you're feeling these emotions, and how do you even ask for help? Who do you go to for help in that situation? Because again, you these, I mean, I guess you would know the people around you, you just don't know how you would know them. So I guess you could ask them for help. That's the thinker. But that's not why we're here. We're here to make decisions. So let's look at our other option. Forgetting who everybody else is. Now, to a certain degree, for me, this would be a really really tough one. Um, just because there were just so many important people in my life, just forgetting who they all are would be, for me, it would be really really hard because like I just owe so much of who I am and the kind of person I am just as a whole because of, we all are like this. No matter what you say, you can think that, oh yeah, I'm the way I am because of, my behavior, but every all of your behaviors, like everything that you are, is based off of the people around you, the relationships you have with various people in your life, whether it be your parents, a spouse, if you have kids, your kids, just your friends. Like, so much of who you are and your identity is based off of your surroundings and your relationships with other people. And so forgetting who those people are, it would just be it'd be it would be a hard one for me because I've been in some really really tough places in my life. Like, I'm currently in a really tough place in my life, and like, not knowing anyone who I could talk to, like, or like go to like work through the situations that I'm in, it would just be like, I mean, it kind of falls into, I don't want to say this would fall into, like when you have depression and you feel like you can't go and talk to anybody. No, it is a literal, like, you don't know who anyone is, so why would you open up about anything deep or personal, or like why would you talk to anybody? And it's sort of that same aspect of amnesia that we see in, like, in media, because it's, you forget who you are and your friend walks up to you and I was like, hey Tim, how are you? And the amnesia Tim, it's like, who are you? And that, I mean, that would be hard to, I don't know, I don't really know how to put it into words. It's just, amnesia in any way, shape, or form is just such an interesting subject to talk about, because it's just one of those things that, like, how do you talk about it? How do you have a discussion about it? Because it's just, at least from my experience, or at least in my personal life, it's not something that's really been, like, dealt with. Like, yeah, I've had plenty of elderly people in my life who develop dementia, and yeah, that is really really hard, and like, you can tell how frustrated they are, but I don't think that would fit into the same category that we have for this discussion. And I've never, this isn't a situation that I've been in, or a situation I don't think I would even know if I have been in. I mean, I guess if I lost my memory, somebody would tell me about it. But I think at the end of the day, I want to go back before I make my decision. I want to go back to our first option, forgetting who you are. I know this doesn't quite fit into it, but actually, like, one of my biggest fears is to become unimportant or irrelevant into people's lives, and just like being forgotten and left behind. Like, for me, like, that is a terrifying concept. Like, the idea, like, I will admit, to a certain degree, like, I have abandonment issues, like, not to the point where, like, it affects my relationships with people, but like, it is something that's just like in the back of my mind. Like, what would I do if I'm in this situation? Like, for example, like, there would be times where I'll check my Facebook, and I'll realize I lost, like, 4 or 5 friends in like a month, and a part of me is like kind of sad, because it's just like, oh man, I wonder what I did to, like, have this person, like, hate me and just, like, not want me in their life. But then I have to remember, it's like, yeah, I don't really talk to many people on Facebook. So oh, sorry, hitting my mic. To me it's not the same. But I think at the end of the day, I would much rather forget who I am. Yeah, I would much rather deal with the inner struggles of forgetting who I am as opposed to just forgetting who everybody else is. I, yeah, that's my final answer. I would much rather forget who I am. I just don't think I could emotion I know like I would know these people. I just wouldn't know how, but I feel like I would have these like emotions in me like, oh yeah, I know who these people are. I just don't know how I know them. And not being able to pinpoint where I know this person, that would just drive me insane. So yeah, final answer for plugging it in. I'm gonna forget who I am. Guys, what would you pick? Would you rather forget who you are, or would you rather forget who everybody else is? Be sure to leave your answer in the comment section. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.